We turn now to the thrill seekers who use Snapchat to chronicle their climb of the world's highest mountain. They're going back for more. Cory Richards and Adrian Ballinger gave Snapchat followers a first-hand account of their Mount Everest adventure last year. Cory made it to the top, but hypothermia forced Adrian to stop just before the summit. They're returning this year to reach the peak together. Eddie Bauer is sponsoring the trip. Cory and Adrian are with us at the table, but first, here's a look at last year's incredible journey.
Intense winds up here now.
These mountains, they break us. They bring us to the edge.
Everest! Woo!
And finding where that edge is and then figuring out if we can still achieve beyond that, that's what I love about this.
It's another Himalayan sunrise.
I knew I was already getting to that point where I wouldn't be able to get myself down alone.
It's up to me to hold it down. That's the summit.
I got to the top in about 8 hours. I mean, if Adrian had chosen to continue, we both would have had to turn around when he got to a point where it was too dangerous, you know? My success has always been built on partnership, and this trip is, I think, the prime example of that in every way.
Cory Richards and Adrian Ballinger, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A couple of things at the top. You say this is about redemption. Do you have a plan to be able to make it this time that was not part of last year's plan, or was something you learned from this year's trip or last year's trip?
Absolutely. You know, I came back from last season and it took a few months to sort of get back on track and be excited again. But by October of last year, this has been my entire focus. And for the past 5 months,
So
I've
what are
been
you going to
working
do
on
different?
Well, I trained very differently, a much deeper training with a focus on low-level endurance. I changed my diet, so I'm burning fats and carbohydrates differently to be able to have energy and warmth on the summit. And I think Cory and I were just really focused on me having a clear head, not a lot of distractions this season, so I can focus on this time.
The tactical plan is for me to go behind him and push. That's really,
That's all I need.
That's how it changed.
You really do have his back. But how difficult was it for you, Adrian, to make the decision, look, I can't go forward, because a lot of guys would say I'm going to do it, and for you, Cory, to leave him behind and keep going?
I mean, for me, it was heartbreaking, of course. I've dreamt of this since I was 14 years old, to stand on top without oxygen. And so in the big picture, it was very difficult. At the moment that it happened, there was no question. I was going to get myself killed up there. And so coming down was the right thing to do.
And Cory?
Well, I mean, these are like short-term marriages. You know, it's all of the drama, none of the benefits, though. And to be fair, I mean, it's really tragic when your partner turns around. I mean, you've spent all this time together building this anticipation, and then, I mean, it is heartbreaking. So I mean, there's real honest emotion going back and trying to do this together as a team.
But you know what else was heartbreaking? You getting right to the tippy top almost, and then your friggin' battery dies, and you don't Snapchat from the top.
We both failed in our own way.
I blew it.
Losers.
No, I'm the biggest loser.
My phone was still working great.
Yeah, well,
I just think the smartest thing was your ability to make a decision that was a smart thing to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really is. Given that you have limited oxygen even at that level, which can impair your.
I think so much of it falls back on sort of like all those years and years of training and time in the mountains that is just clearly the right thing to do, even when you can't think.
So how are you changing your diet?
Yeah, so this has been really interesting for me. I went and had some testing done, and it found that I burn just off sugars, off carbohydrates really well. But above 25,000 feet, you can't eat. So you can't put sugars into your body because you're too nauseous usually. And so I am on a fully sort of paleo ketogenic diet, no carbs.
And what's the height there, where you are? At the summit?
At the summit, 29,000 feet.
So 4,000 feet more than 25.
That's right. So for about 30 hours, you're really not putting anything into your body. It's just what you have, what your system burns. So I'm retraining my body to burn the intramuscular fats we all carry.
And what we learned, I mean, what I knew last year from the testing that I did beforehand, and what Adrian learned this year, is that we just have very different metabolisms. So he kicks in, he starts burning intramuscular fat very quick, I start burning intramuscular fat and prefer it until I'm at a very, very high heart rate. So this is zone 4, sort of, and he's starts doing that around zone 1.5, 2. So that's why he's had to switch his entire method of eating and training.
Were you guys always planning to do this again, or are you doing it again because both of you felt we didn't do what we set out to accomplish?
We just like each other.
Exactly. There was no question we were going to the
This is the
Himalayas
definition of a
together.
bromance, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a bromance. This is
Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There was no question. This sort of forms the whole year of what to train for, what I'm going to recover from. And it was clear it was going to be Everest this past summer.
And you want to
once we started
engage more
talking.
people this time on Snapchat, right?
Yeah, well, we
More
want to use it. We want to use it more as a viewer-directed storytelling tool. So last year was all about us, and certainly we're going to keep that fun element of two guys on Everest doing this thing. But we also want to talk to the larger issues that are there and engage the audience with and say, well, what do you want to know? And potentially use it as a sort of a social hub. So if classrooms want to follow us, well, we can take the questions that they're asking and direct them and ask our audience, scientists, and say, well, how do you answer this question?
I can't wait. Where are you from, Adrian? Your accent is very interesting to me. Because it sounds American, then it sounds something else.
I'm a mutt. So I'm from England originally, was born there, lived there until I was 6 years old. Then I moved to Massachusetts.
Okay.
And this is what I'm left with.
Yeah, it's very nice. I like it. I just
Boy, we
figured
wish you
out.
good luck. I mean, this
Yeah.
When are you
really-
going? When are you going?
April 8th.
And when do you plan
Boy,
to
this
get
is
there?
around the corner.
Yeah, right around the corner, and we hope to summit at the end of May.
Okay.
Right, we'll be watching.
We'll be watching. Come
And
back.
take some hair care
we-
products.
We love your support. Thank you
Yeah,
so
you got our
much.
support. Hair care products for you, my friend. It's a nice look.
I'll be ready.
Cory Richards and Adrian Ballinger, thank you both.